Hello, everyone, and welcome to Real Women, Real Purpose Talk Show. I am here today with Shelly O'Connell. Hi, Shelly.
Hi, Kathryn.
I'm so glad to be here with you today. So, everyone, we are live in the On Purpose Woman Global Community Facebook group. I am Kathryn Yarborough, one of the two hosts of the Real Women, Real Purpose Talk Show. I'm a co-leader in the On Purpose Woman Global Community, and my business is the Manifesting Clients Academy. I'm the creator of that. I'm here today with Shelly, she's all the way in California. Yay, Shelly. And she's going to be telling us about how we can trust our wisdom and build a life that we love. So I'm really looking forward to what Shelly is going to teach us. She is a life coach. Shelly engages women in the discovery and use of their own wisdom to accomplish their goals, follow their truth, and build a life that they love. She's trained by the Institute for Life Coach Training, and she holds a Master's of Divinity, or a Master. I always say Master's, Master of Divinity, and a Bachelor of Science in Behavioral Science. So you've got some cool background there, Shelly. I love that. She also has an extensive background in women's advocacy and Native American spirituality. So Shelly brings just so much to her work, and so much, I'm sure, to this conversation. So I'm so glad to be here with you.
And thank you. I'm excited to be here too. Thank you.
So I know that you want to talk about wisdom with us, and you may even have some ways to share with us about how we can access our wisdom. But before we do that, I am so curious. When you're talking about wisdom, what do you mean by that term?
What I mean by wisdom is it is our experiences, our learning, our trial and error types of things, all of those things. But as women, we also inherently have wisdom. So we also have things such as our knowing, sometimes called intuition. We have guidance, whether you think of that as guidance from something higher than us or nature or yourself, that type of thing too. We have and this is from the Native Americans that I got to study with, we have the ability as women to very easily access our inner wisdom, our inner knowing, some people may call it that. But we really haven't in most mainstream been taught how to do that, nor that we have it. In fact, we've often been taught the opposite. And in fact, a lot of the way that I was trained, a lot of the Native ceremonies were also to help the men, because they don't have as easy an access to what we do. And so when I talk about wisdom, it is all of those things, and also the collective that we have of ancestry, of women, and also our own self as women. How to realize that that's something different from just accumulated things that you've learned. It's that and these other insights and awarenesses as well.
Okay. All right. So let me just make sure I'm following at least a little bit here.
Okay.
So one of the things I got out of what you said is that the capacity to tap into our inner guidance, our inner knowing, is easier for women based on the Native American tradition that you've studied.
Yes.
Okay. That intrigues me a bit, because I was going to ask you, why is it that women can tap into this, or how is it that they're different than men? Because it just seems like, to me, wisdom is wisdom. We can all tap into it. But what I'm getting, and what makes sense, is that there's something about like our connection to the moon, or yes. So, with the menstrual cycle and all of that.
Yes, all of that. That's true.
Part of our capacity as women in general. I'm sure there's some women who don't tap into their inner knowing at all, and maybe are less likely to. But this is interesting to me. So
it's if you go, most cultures, older cultures, earth-based cultures, always, from what I understand, have had that awareness. You know, women are receptive, and yes, we have ties to the moon, and the menstrual cycle, you're even more wide open to receiving information. And so sometimes if you don't know how to take care of those things, you can feel overwhelmed and bombarded. Men, or I should say male, females receiving receptivity, right? Many other things too, in general, I'm talking. And male is action. We both have both those attributes within us, but inherently, because we are receptive, we have this ability to tap into, like I said, all of the insights and things that we have, but also I call it the calm, still voice within us. And I think probably just about everybody can have some, can relate to at some point in time, having a feeling or an image or a knowing or hearing where it kind of prompted you in a way that maybe your intellect did not. And every single time that you follow that prompt, you either avoid trouble or have some sort of synchronicity happen, that something opens up that's wonderful, or maybe just a moment in time of beauty, something along those lines. And so it is something that requires a little more practice to hear, to tune into. And it can come in a variety of ways. Some people, like I said, for some people it's a knowing, for some people it's images, for some people, you hear guidance either as someone talking or, a feeling, or those types of things. And so that builds upon the insights, the knowledge, the experience that you have. And they sort of marry well together in that it enhances your ability to create a life that you want. And I feel really passionate about that because I think, given my previous advocacy work and such, oftentimes I would run into women or work with women or even know women, and sometimes myself too, where we have been conditioned to believe that we really don't know what is right for us. There's all these societal and norms and, family and things like that we're very, very heavily conditioned to follow, and a lot of censure and other things when we don't, to take care of everyone else, but not yourself, even though yourself may be saying, hold up, I need this voice inside me, this little calm voice somehow is pushing on me to recognize that I need to pause. And that really is the first step, I think. First tip that I would give people is to pause. If you're feeling phonetic, if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling, who's not struggling off and on with all that's happening in the world, any of that, it's always a good starting point to just pause. And in that pause, just, whether it's just a one breath, right? You're still going to get some kind of prompt, some kind of something. And a lot of times we get it even without that pause, but we're so busy, we ignore it. It's like, I like to think of it as like if you have small children, you have to attend to them right away, all these things, right? And so it might be 2:00 and you realize you've not had breakfast or lunch, but your body, kind of like that small voice, sort of prompted you to be like, Shelly, eat some food. Kathryn, eat some food.
It's not my problem. That's not happening for me, but
but that's
that
just one kind of a metaphor, and you just keep going because you have so many other things, right? So when you feel that or notice it, that's when you pause and just give yourself a moment.
So I love this, Shelly, and I love that you're inviting women, including me, to recognize our own inherent wisdom, to become more aware of how our culture and our, including in many cases, our families have indoctrinated us to not tune in to what we know for ourselves. And I'm really getting it that one of the things, maybe the thing that you're passionate about in terms of working with your women clients, is to help them remember this, or reawaken their inner knowing so that they can create a life that they love.
Yes. And oftentimes when I'm working with someone, those are the things they may not necessarily start, but that's the way that it tends to go. And a lot of the things that happens is people will begin to work on such things as healthy boundaries, being able to say no without feeling guilty, because, we're guilted if we say no, or try to put ourselves first. We're considered selfish. But honestly, it goes farther than us, because in the Native tradition, when the women were connected, and I think there are many who still are, and there are groups of Native people who still do this, you don't just receive prompts and things for yourself, but you would receive it for your family and perhaps the tribe. And sometimes that's very, very, very critically. So if you have the women disconnected from themselves, how then can they tap into universal knowledge and information and insights and wisdom for guiding, the family, the larger neighborhood around you, and the society and world? And when we do, I think things shift in pretty interesting ways.
I just have to say, folks, I have known Shelly for the last 2 or 3 years, and I did not get this. I did not get the depth of this work. And I don't know why it took till this conversation, but in this moment, I am so appreciating what you're bringing to individual women with your one-on-one coaching, because I know you do that, and also your message, the bigger message of reminding us to tap into this inner knowing, the intuition, the guidance from something bigger than us, and to trust it and to step into our roles for that in doing that. So, oh my goodness, Shelly, let's just take a minute and since I just talked about your coaching, what kind of people do you work with? And you mentioned that a lot of times it turns into developing and strengthening boundaries, being able to say no. But who's called to work with you? Who are you called to work with?
Well, I have, I work primarily just with women. There will be men that filter in and out, but primarily it's women. That's been all of my work, advocating for women and children and lifting that up. And so this is a way to do it that I'm not really the expert. I'm just creating a safe space to be able to be vulnerable and say, I am overwhelmed, because there's a lot of taboos about what you're supposed to talk about, and not as a woman also. And it's all tied together, keeping you away from your wisdom. So sometimes people will come and they have a specific dream for their life. This is the most common. But they're scared to death and they don't have the confidence. They're saying things like, frequently, sorry throughout like the first conversation with them. I will often hear that, and they use that through, in their life with other people. And there's really no reason that they're apologizing. They've just been conditioned to stand down. And then I'll have other women who come and they have some confidence, but they're working on a specific something in their life. Like maybe there's a health concern and they want to have some things in place, or they want to, like talk it through. And then in all of these instances, we develop some action plans that are realistic and simple, to help them get there. We have accountability, and then we have celebration, because that's important part of this wisdom is celebration too. When you get it. And if your action plan, something fails, we'll say, it really isn't a fail. It's just, like what got in the way, and we just keep working with it because there's a lot of sometimes on things to uncover. And then I have women who come, and I will say all of these women are on spiritual journeys. That's all. It tends to be a thread that runs through. And then I'll sometimes have women who come who have been on amazing spiritual journeys. They're like really in tune with the spiritual part of themselves, and very in tune with their wisdom, but they might be like up here in the ethers and not be able to bring it down into reality. And it might just be a specific thing, or it might be a broader action, dream that they have. So it tends to be those are variations of those people, but I would say, if people are feeling pulled or called or pushed, sometimes it's a push, to be more authentic to who they are. Wisdom is the way.
What a beautiful thing to say. So if someone wanted to have a conversation with you to see if working with you was the right thing, what should they do?
I would say they could check out my Facebook page. It's Coaching by Shelly on Facebook. I also have a website, and that I do a little more in-depth kind of blog posts, and that is my name, www.shellyoconnell.com. And I'm soon hoping to have it launched by the 1st of September, going to do a group on Facebook called Women Own Wisdom. And in that group, I'm going to give daily prompts for people to, share a specific thing. And I'm thinking probably we'll do some Facebook Lives. Probably twice a month, I'll do a little teaching. So for 15, 20 minutes, you can try it out, get a little freebie and see what I'm talking about. If this sounds like, gee, I don't know why that sounds like what she's talking about. I have no idea what she's talking about, but I just feel that ring of truth in me. Follow up. So, and I called it Women Own Wisdom because we inherently do. We own it. But it's time for us to step into owning it. I've been saying for several years that we live in a time where we are called to own our wisdom. Like there's no more playing around, and when we do, we begin to, create the lives that we love. But we're also, and I'm going to be, honest, we also shed some things that don't fit us anymore. We're less likely to opt for unhealthy things in our lives, and we will grow and be happier.
I like that. So I know that you've shared one tip with us. I'm going to just refresh, say it again and see. I'm going to say it, make sure I got it, and you can enhance it. So in order to access our wisdom, one thing we can do, and maybe it's the first thing, is to pause and to notice. And I had a situation recently. It was in the last few weeks. I was putting on my shoes, my walking shoes, to go for a walk. They're like tennis shoes. I tied the laces and everything. And I was rushing through them. I was like, okay, I gotta get these shoes on so I go for my walk. And I'm like, stopping, going, oh my gosh, Kathryn, why are you rushing through this? And I reminded myself, I paused. So I didn't even know that was your advice and your wisdom, but I paused and I reminded myself that I actually don't enjoy the experience of rushing and it's not helpful, and reset myself. So is that what you mean?
Yes, yes. And I would say that before the pause, the little calm voice in you was pushing you in some way, was saying, hey, pay attention, you're going too fast. And then when you did pause, you got that right away, that I'm going too fast. And I don't enjoy that.
Mm-hmm.
That's that calm, still voice. Because that wisdom in you wants you to enjoy your life.
Wow.
And if you have trouble with the pause, pay attention. It'll get you in a lot of different ways. Sometimes the radio comes on, there's a certain song on, but leave it on. It's trying to help you, but sometimes you can take a breath and just breathe and let your shoulders come down, and wait. And the good thing about it is, wisdom is always trying to help you enjoy life, to have the life that you would really love.
I love that. Wisdom is always trying to help you enjoy your life and have the life that you love.
Yes.
Holy camole, Shelly.
Always. And so it's always finding almost infinite ways to get you to notice. And I think we come to things a lot of times thinking we have to be an expert at everything, right? There's so much pressure, but we don't. It's gonna keep working with you. Anybody that's listening to this now, trust me, you send me a little message, because I like to hear, because it makes me laugh out loud, because I remember the times, that this wisdom would at first get my attention. And so it's lovely to hear people's experiences, but you get to practice. This is a practice. I don't expect, and nor should anyone expect, that you're going to start here today and be like this, in tune with all your wisdom, right?
Oh my God. I think of myself when I was in my 20s, Shelly. I thought I would leap into something like wisdom right away. And 30 years later, I'm like, okay, I get it. Yes, I'll touch it every once in a while. But in my 20s, I thought, anyway, okay, so I get it. All right. Well,
it's mostly patient.
But I'm impatient. So is there another tip? Was there another one that you want to teach us? Because I want to learn.
Yes, I would say.
I'm laughing at myself. That was my rushing thing.
Oh, no worries. I would say, if you're in a place where you're not driving and it's safe to do so, when you feel, if you want to get in touch with it, close your eyes. Like if we just did it, we're going to do that right now. Let's just do it now.
Right now?
Close your eyes. And just take a deep breath in and then out. And you can feel yourself settle pretty easily. Just let all the mind chatter go away. And, you can also ask, what is that calm, still voice? What does it have to say today? What arises? And then open your eyes. You don't have to stay with it or put pressure on yourself. Sometimes it comes in a dream. Sometimes it comes on the radio later, but it will find a way. It might come right then. What happened for me was just a feeling of calm. That was lovely. If I can move with that in my day, wow. Did you, I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit, Kathryn. Did you have something happen?
Yes.
You'd like to share?
Yes. So my little voice said, you're okay. everything's going to be okay. You're okay. It's
See?
really, I mean, it's so nice. Just so nice. Like, it is, it's reassuring, it's calming. I get what you're saying. That voice is really wanting us to have our best, create our best lives. And it's not frenetic. And our culture, I feel like I'm indoctrinated to push, 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 go, go, go. And this is something else. This is trusting something else.
And it's received. You can. We all can. But we think we have to always push to receive, and we don't.
Mm.
Sometimes we can just invite it, and we can receive.
Just that women capacity, that receptive capacity.
We already have it. It's already there. It's just what we're doing is finding ways to unveil it, uncover it, be more, have it more accessible at our when we respond to those little prompts. Like I said, it might be a push, it might be like you slowed down, you know, when you realized you were going too fast. That was already the calm voice ahead of time. And like I said, I'm gonna have this group up and we'll put some more things up there, more advanced stuff. But it doesn't have to be difficult. You know, it doesn't have to, you don't have to stress yourself out. You can just let it show you.
Mm. Well, I'm looking forward to joining your group. So it's Wisdom Own, OWN, Wisdom Own, Wisdom Own Wisdom. No, Wisdom, Women. Women Own Wisdom. There's another group I'm a part of that has wings in it. That's anyways very similar. So Women Own Wisdom. And then, folks, if you want to get a hold of Shelly right now, you can go to her Facebook page, Coaching by Shelly, or her website at shellyo'connell.com. So, and so if you're if you are, as you're listening to Shelly and accessing, just feeling her amazing vibration, her energy, and you're one of those women who have been doing what other people think you should do, gosh, goodness sakes, please give Shelly a call if you can. I mean, good. She's brilliant. She's going to help you. So reach
I'm
out.
going to frame it up so they can help themselves, even better.
Oh, there you go. You're going to help them help themselves is what you're going to do. Even better. Okay. So is there anything else is there another tip you want to share? Any other piece of wisdom that you want to give us?
I would say be gentle with yourselves. Everybody right now. Just be gentle and it will come.
Thank you, Shelly.
Thank you, Kathryn. It's awesome.
And thank you to all of the folks who are here with us live, listening in the On Purpose Woman Global community. Please share with us your thoughts, your questions, how you experienced Shelly and her wisdom tips here. And I look forward to seeing what's going to unfold with the Real Women, Real Purpose talk show. Jenny Robertson and I are making plans for what we're going to do in September and October. So stay tuned for that. In the meantime, as far as I know, this is our last scheduled Real Women, Real Purpose talk show. And you can watch this one again or watch any of the other ones on our YouTube channel. In YouTube, go to On Purpose Woman Global Community and please subscribe. And so when our next ones come out, you will be informed. Thank you, everyone, for being here with us. And I will see you next month.